New Covenant Academy is hosting the Epic Expansion event on October 26th at 6:30 p.m. It'll be at the University Plaza Convention Center. You can reserve your seats now by going to events.newcovenant.net, events.newcovenant.net, or call 417-887-9848, 417-887-9848, extension 450 for more information. The guest speaker that night will be Mr. David White. David is an actor, screenwriter, producer, co-founder of PureFlix Entertainment, which is a faith and family-themed movie company, kind of like Netflix, but it's all family and faith-based movies. He's an author, wrote the book Between Heaven and Hollywood. He starred in more than 25 movies. He's produced more than 40 films, including the blockbuster movie God's Not Dead. It's an honor and a privilege to visit with David White. David, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to having you here in Springfield.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
As I've been reading about you and studying your bio, the official name for you is David A.R. White. So there's got to be an interesting story there between the A and the R. What's that story? Or is there one?
Well, I don't know if there's a very good one or not, but I was the last kid, so I got, I think I got the remainder of the names that my parents had set aside for their children, and so that's why I ended up getting 4.
You were raised in a small Mennonite farming town just outside of Dodge City, Kansas, which is not that far from Springfield, Missouri, by the way. But I grew up watching Gunsmoke, loved stories about Wyatt Earp. Dodge City, Kansas, a huge part of all of that. There's some great Western stories in that part of the country.
There are, yeah, absolutely. I watched it as well, and I think Gunsmoke is like the longest running television show on TV for now.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can watch it even today on TV Land and some of the Western channels that are out there. We're visiting with David A.R. White. He's going to be in Springfield on October 26th, 6:30 at the University Plaza Convention Center. You can reserve your seats now. It's being presented by New Covenant Academy. It's the Epic Expansion event. You can go online to events.newcovenant.net or call 417-887-9848, extension 450 for more information, and then reserve your seats. David White, of course, we mentioned actor, screenwriter, producer, also the co-founder of PureFlix Entertainment. For those of us with families and who are always trying to find something we can watch together as a family and not be offended or have to change the channel, PureFlix Entertainment is a great option for families. It's all faith and family-themed movies.
Oh, thank you. When we first started PureFlix in 2005, there really weren't any Christian companies out there, Christian distribution companies for faith content movies. There were the Christian bookstores, of course, and then also you'd have the book publishers. But when we started producing these films, and I started in the 90s when I was a kid, when I was younger, and we kept running up against these studios that would block a lot of the stuff that we wanted to put out there. And we just felt like we needed to have a place to put them, and that was kind of the dream that the Lord had put in our hearts early on to say, you need to create that outlet so you can also partner with other producers to get their content out there, and that kind of taking away the middleman that we couldn't get. We make an evangelistic movie, and all of a sudden, we're not getting stopped by the studios. So that really was the beginning of PureFlix, and of course we started out in the DVD world and grew to the theatrical world. But as we see more and more, streaming is becoming such a it is really where the future is going in content right now. More people want to stream, more people want to have access, on their phones and on their iPads and everywhere else. And so PureFlix.com was born about 2 years ago to be that streaming service. And, it's amazing how many hours that people actually watch content in the millions right now. But it's an alternative to what they would be watching on Netflix or, some of these other places. And so we're just grateful to be part of that and see what the Lord is doing with it.
Well, from what I can tell, things are very busy at PureFlix Entertainment. A couple of titles that have either just been released or about to be released. A Question of Faith, a story of faith and forgiveness comparable to War Room, was released Friday, September 29th. And then about a month from now, you're going to release Same Kind of Different as Me, based on a best-selling novel by Denver Moore and Ron Hall. And then in February of next year, the biblical epic Samson. Not to mention, you're about to go to work on God's Not Dead 3, And as well, and in addition to that, as if that's not enough, actively involved in several projects you are, including a sitcom currently in production called Hitting the Brakes, which stars special guests like Rob Schneider, Tim Tebow, and Morgan Fairchild. You regularly produce video shorts for 3 web series titled Life in the White House, On the White Track, and Behind the Scenes. So clearly, you're a very busy man.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's been amazing to see. You know, I think that God puts these dreams inside of each and every one of us in different ways. And I remember I was sitting on a tractor in the middle of a wheat field, and I had a dream and a desire to go into the entertainment industry. And obviously, growing up in Kansas, I grew up as a Mennonite. And, there's that joke, if you don't know what a Mennonite is, the Mennonites make the Mormons look like a pack of Hell's Angels. So, I was like the last person on the planet that probably should have gone into the entertainment industry. And I saw one movie in the theater the first 18 years of my life. But I believe that when God puts something on our hearts, and it's in everybody who's listening to this, you have a dream that God has put on your heart, don't stop. And even when it doesn't make sense, continue to move toward that, and you'll be amazed to see what God will do in your life through, with that dream. And it, PureFlix has been amazing. I've been able to do a lot of incredible things that the Lord has allowed me, and taken me to different positions. It certainly hasn't been easy. I mean, there's been a lot of, roadblocks and barriers along the way. But God is faithful, and I just want to encourage whoever is listening to this is that God is faithful. He will see you through. He will take that dream, and you'll be. And if you bend our knee before Him, say, Lord, you take this thing that's inside of me, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. When I come out there, and just want to encourage folks.
John Maxwell has a quote: "A dream should never be evaluated according to its size. A dream doesn't have to be big, it just has to be yours." And to your point, God places those dreams and things inside of us because He knows what He created us for and created us to do. It's a great transition segue into your book, Between Heaven and Hollywood, Chasing Your God-Given Dreams.
Yeah, it's interesting. After God's Not Dead, obviously our lives changed quite a bit. That movie went on to be, was the #1 independent live-action film of that year, and it broke all kinds of records. And Hollywood, of course, came knocking on the door in different ways. And people have been asking me to write a book for a while, but I didn't want to just write a book about my story. I wanted to write a book that had some kind of meaning and purpose, and ask the Lord, what is it that you want me to share through this? And I think it comes down to that God-given dream, that each and every one of us have that thing on our hearts. We were created for a reason, for a purpose, and not just to walk through life aimlessly or just to enjoy our own pleasures or whatever, that there's a specific reason for each and every one of us. And so that's really where Between Heaven and Hollywood, Chasing Your God-Given Dream came out of.
Well, when David A.R. White is not producing films, web series, or writing, he's out across the country sharing messages of encouragement, inspiration, and humor. You'll find him at conferences, faith and film panels, churches around the country, lives in L.A., his wife, Andrea, and their 3 kids. You can see him here in Springfield coming up in just a couple of weeks. October 26th, 6:30 at the University Plaza Convention Center. It's the Epic Expansion event put on by New Covenant Academy. You can reserve your seats by going online, events.newcovenant.net, or call 417-887-9848, extension 450. Again, events.newcovenant.net, or call 417-887-9848, extension 450. David White, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're busy getting ready to go produce and direct God's Not Dead 3, not too far from us, down in Little Rock, Arkansas. So good luck with all of that, and we look forward to having you back here in Springfield on October 26th.
I look forward to it as well. Thanks for having me.